This is a Nekton Sports Control Box, and it can be used to control your OptiShot or the Golf Club 2019 software for your home golf simulator. Stay tuned to see if this is an essential or a luxury item for your golf simulator and whether or not it's actually worth the money. You've got two options when it comes to your Nekton Sports Control Box. You've got a wireless option that'll set you back $199, or a wired box that you connect to your PC by a USB lead that costs you $150. You connect the box to your PC or laptop, and it's used as an alternative to your keyboard when playing rounds of golf on your simulator. Instead of pressing keyboard keys, it allows you to control the game by pressing the corresponding buttons using your golf club. Effectively, it saves you from walking back and forward to your computer's keyboard between shots. The control box is currently compatible with the Golf Club, the Golf Club 2019 and OptiShot 2. But Nekton Sports are also currently working on making it compatible with E6 Connect. So if you own any of these golf simulator software products and your keyboard or computer isn't right next to you, then the control box can be a convenient addition to your golf simulator room. When it arrived, the control box was a lot smaller than I expected. I actually expected quite a large, clunky and heavy piece of kit, but it's extremely lightweight and it's only 12 inches long and 7.5 inches wide. Effectively, it's the same size as my laptop. First of all, you've got a choice of image you'd like on the front of your control box. You've got a choice of Augusta or the Island Green 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Secondly, you can choose what each button on the control box actually does. Now, you've got examples next to each button of what you could use it for, like left and right and shot data and hole flyby and things like that. But these are completely customizable and you can change them to whatever you want. So for example, with the hole flyby button or H on the keyboard, I never use that because it's too slow. So I've changed this button to Q on the keyboard, which is the scout camera, and that's something that I use for every shot. All of the buttons can be changed quite easily within the Joy2Key software that you can download when you first install the box. If you want to save a bit of money, you can buy the wired control box that comes with a 7 feet long USB cable. Or for an extra $50, you can buy the wireless option, which is rechargeable and has a wireless distance of 35 feet, which should be ample amount of connectivity for your simulator room. It really is easier to just use your golf club to control the game rather than heading over to your keyboard or your computer in between every shot. The buttons are large enough and easy enough to press with either end of your golf club. I honestly didn't think that this control box was going to make much of a difference to my golf simulator experience, but it really has. Just something as simple as aiming left or right or doing a hole flyover, they're effortless and they really speed up your gameplay. Yeah, we have a shot. It's a terrible one, but it's a shot. That obviously comes up with my club data. So if I press the data button on the control box, there we go again, fantastic. Even in a small golf simulator room like mine, where the keyboard isn't far away at all, it's a very convenient piece of kit to have. Now, if you've got a large golf simulator room, then it's definitely going to help you out. The Nekton Sports Control Box can be used with OptiShot, SkyTrak, Mevo Plus, or any launch monitor that can run the Golf Club or the Golf Club 2019. It can also run on Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and a bunch of Mac operating systems as well. If you're interested in buying or finding out more information about the Nekton Sports Control Box, then I'll pop a link in the description below this video. I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a faff setting up the control box. Now, I am by no means an expert, but I consider myself to be relatively decent on computers, and I must admit, setting up the control box was pretty tricky.
Right, I'm stuck here, fellas. I don't know if it's plugged in or what.
The control box requires you to download some additional software called Joy2Key, which is what you program so that the box knows which computer keyboard buttons to represent. Now, even though there's a step-by-step guide on the Nekton Sports website, it still baffled me at times. But I got there eventually, and once it's set up, then you're good to go, and you shouldn't need to mess around with it much in the future. Now, I do know the guys at Nekton Sports are currently working on an instructional video, so hopefully that'll make the setup process a little bit easier. Also, whilst we're on the topic of setting up your control box, you must know that each time you want to fire up the control box, it has to be unplugged from your computer, and you've got to open the Joy2Key software first. Plus, you have to run the Joy2Key software as an administrator for it to work properly. Then and only then you can load up the golf club, and you have to wait for it to get to the home screen before you can eventually plug in and power on your control box. If you do this in the wrong order, then it messes around with your computer and your keyboard and your mouse won't actually work properly. I must admit, it's a bit of a faff when you first start using the control box, and it can be quite frustrating. But after a few times of setting it up, it gets a little bit easier to remember which order everything needs to go in. The large buttons on the control box are great. They're super easy to press and they make the game easy to navigate. However, you have these smaller buttons on the top row of the control box which can also be programmed to certain functions within the game. The issue is that these buttons are a bit too small and they're nowhere near as easy to press using your golf club. This can be a bit frustrating, and it requires a little bit of extra finesse and concentration, which kind of defeats the main object of the control box. So these control boxes are not the cheapest, and there's other ways around using your computer's keyboard to navigate your golf simulator software. You can actually build your own DIY control box by buying the basic parts online. Now, I'm no expert in this area, but I've read that you can build your own control box for around about $50. You can also use a standard wireless keyboard, connect it to your PC or laptop, and place that on a stand right next to where you're hitting your golf balls from. There's even some apps out there that you can download for iPad and tablet that you can link up to your PC and control your keyboard from that. Of course, you can't navigate the game using your actual golf clubs like you can with the control box, but still, you can control it from right next to where you're hitting the ball from, and you still don't need to go back and forward to your computer between each shot. Overall, I am impressed with the Nekton Sports Control Box. Now, I was apprehensive at first because it was just going to be a luxury item that I added to my golf simulator setup. But after using it for a couple of weeks, I really like it. So if you can afford it and you've got a larger golf simulator room where you have to go back and forward to the computer between shots, then I'd definitely recommend getting one. No, it's not the easiest to set up, but I did figure it out, and the guys at Nekton Sports are more than happy to talk you through it if you're struggling. And we're all about saving a bit of cash on this golf channel, so if you can't justify spending $200 on a control box, then I would definitely recommend going down the DIY route or buying yourself a wireless keyboard. I really do hope this video has been helpful and it's given you an insight into the world of control boxes, and specifically this one from Nekton Sports. If you've enjoyed the video, then please give it a thumbs up down below, and if it's your first time here, then head over to the Handicap Golf channel and click that subscribe button for some more helpful golf simulator content. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.